It took me 30 years to get this right, and I'm gonna help you do it in 30 days or less. This is about freeing your mind and your body, and we're gonna do that through quitting smoking, changing your identity, and the benefits of sun exposure. Let's start with smoking. There's a common misconception that addiction is purely a physical thing, but it's so much more than that. It's a whole mental game, especially emotions. Smoking is so much more than just a habit. It's intrinsic to our identity. I started smoking when I was just 11 years young. I grew up all around it. My parents smoked, my friends, everyone. It was all I knew, and so it was a natural introduction for me. I took to it right away, and I smoked every day for the last 30 years. So quitting smoking is not just about stopping an action. It's really about how we think about ourselves. You first have to acknowledge the central role of that relationship and how it played out in your life. Okay, so if you are ready to quit smoking, or again, if you don't smoke yourself, but you know someone who does, here's the first and most important step, is that the decision to quit has to be yours. And once you make that decision, you have to have 100% commitment to the cause. You cannot be half-ass about it. You have to be fully committed. And then I really think it's important to not keep this journey as a personal one to yourself. You have to share it with other people. It helps with accountability and just bringing that energy of support in. Don't hesitate to be open and honest and vulnerable about your desire to quit, your decision that you're making, and the level of commitment that you're willing to bring to the table. And then tell people in your inner circle that you know, like, and trust about your decision to quit and share it with them. And believe me, I know actually how terrifying it is to even consider to quit smoking. That's one of the hardest parts, the anticipation. You cannot imagine what it's gonna be like to not smoke later today or tomorrow. That's always the worst part, like anything. If you're gonna jump into cold water, it's just thinking about getting in that cold ass river that's the hardest part. But if you just jump in, it's so much easier. And so that's the case with smoking. You cannot focus on the future steps that you're gonna be making, but on the next step right in front of you, and then just take it step by step. So the first 30 days are gonna make or break your whole experience. Now, I quit about 3 months ago, so it's common sense to me through experience now, but if it's not obvious to you, you're gonna be replacing old habits with new ones. You're gonna start small, you're gonna keep it simple, and every moment of every day, you're gonna celebrate those small wins because they are actually really big and they matter. Now, there's so many tips and techniques that I could get into in this video, but I'll tell you right now, if you want personalized help with this, you can go through the link in the description to connect with me or just comment. We'll be in touch and we can get onto a discovery call and tailor a solution that's exactly right for you. You can also follow me on LinkedIn and X, where I post content daily about addiction recovery and holistic productivity. But because I like you, I'm gonna give you just a few quick tips to get you started. Front load the energy producing tasks in the morning because that's gonna give you the mindset and the energy to have a high performance day. I'm talking about drinking water, doing some deep breathing, opening up that yoga mat on the ground and doing some even just light stretching. Get your priorities in order, put them on the calendar, and then go in the kitchen, fire up your Vitamix, and make a green smoothie. So now you're getting those nutrients into your body and you're opening up through those simple movement practices. Another thing you can try is nicotine pouches. I use these ones from Zen. You can find them at any gas station, whatever. Nicotine pouches help some people. For me, I don't know if they're helping or not. They're just kind of fun to use, actually. So those are just some examples of quick wins that you can add into your life. But remember, there's things that you need to subtract and take out of your life too. Like, it's really gonna stack the odds in your favor if you do not hang around smokers, and definitely don't go to dive bars. Those kinds of things are going to be stressful situations, and the last thing you want to do in a sensitive time like this is put yourself into unnecessarily stressful situations. All right, now I'm going to talk about sun exposure. On the surface level, you might think that it's common sense that getting outside and being in the sun is a healthy thing to do, but not everyone believes that, and not everyone actually practices that. It's a part of a holistic lifestyle, and it helps with productivity in a lot of ways, which we'll talk about, but it's also key to addiction recovery for so many reasons. There's been a lot of misconceptions about sunlight and its effects on our skin and our bodies. A lot of that is actually just fear-mongering from corporations. This misunderstanding can cause vitamin D deficiency, hormonal imbalances, and even mood disorders. The goal here is to help align you more with nature's rhythms and promote a healthier relationship with the sun. Sunlight in its entirety positively impacts mental health, and it also aids in the traditional recovery approaches. So look, I'm a busy guy, I'm an aspiring entrepreneur, and I'm a dad. And for men like us, we often, because of our lifestyles, miss out on a lot of sunlight throughout the day, but especially even first thing in the morning. The morning is obviously a bookend to the night, and then we're talking about rest and recovery and our circadian rhythms. So here's a quick solution to fix that problem: habit stacking. I recommend starting the day by going outside. You can lay down in a backyard if you even have sunshine where you're at, or just getting outside in the sunshine and going for a short walk is a good thing. And then you just start to combine like a morning walk. Maybe you put your yoga mat outside and do some stretching. And if you have business meetings early in the morning, habit stack those and just take those meetings on the go. You can pop in your AirPods and have that meeting while you're walking. I mentioned circadian rhythms, and you might not know what that is. That's basically just a technical term for internal clocks. And if we calibrate our internal clocks or the circadian rhythm in the early morning, getting that sunlight and going to bed early and getting enough melatonin, that's going to help our circadian rhythms with rest and recovery. And those two things are absolutely essential in addiction recovery and quitting smoking. And look, I don't want there to be any excuses. You might say, I don't get enough sunshine or it's cloudy today. But again, sunlight is filtered only through the clouds, and some of that beneficial vitamin D is still getting through. And one of the problems with the lack of this vitamin D is a lot of people actually suffer from seasonal affective disorder, or SAD for short. About 5% of adults in the US suffer from SAD, and you can easily fix that with at-home light therapy, or save the money and just get outside even on those cloudy days. The problem with SAD is that it leads to depression, and depression leads to addictive behaviors. Another misconception that goes around throughout society is this thing of sunscreen. People are wearing it, they think it's a good thing, and I cringe every time I see people putting on sunscreen, especially on children. The skin is the largest organ in our body. You might not know that, but our skin is considered an organ. It absorbs and eliminates. So when we put that chemical corporate sunscreen with all of those synthetic toxins, that goes right into our skin and into our bloodstream and has a direct effect, a negative effect on our physical health and mental health. So don't be a sheep and follow the herd. Other people you see putting on sunscreen doesn't mean that you have to. And there's the propaganda from the corporations that you don't have to let yourself be swayed by. You can think for yourself, use common sense, and go outside and enjoy that sunshine. Plus, we gotta set a good example for the kids, and if the kids seen us putting on sunscreen like it's a good thing, they're gonna do it. And the long-term effects, you don't see it right away, but it has generational effects that are compounding. And you don't always tie it back to sunscreen was the culprit. There's a lot of cofactors in today's toxic world that contribute to dis-ease. Sunscreen is just one of them. All right, so sunlight is an amazing thing. It's powerful. It acts as a natural disinfectant. It enhances our mood and even prevents disease. So I want to share just 3 unique ways that you can transform your relationship with the sun. The first one is sometimes frowned upon in society. We know it's good to get out and expose our skin to the sun, but taking it to the next level is naked sunbathing. Where appropriate, when appropriate, in private, in your backyard or whatever. If you're in a remote piece of nature, like if you were back there, not where all the tourist hikers are here, but take off your shorts and your top and expose all of your skin, your butt and your gonads, all to the sun. The sunlight hitting those areas, again, the skin is an organ receiving energy. It helps fortify our reproductive systems and a whole lot of other things. Another one that you might not have heard of is called sun gazing. This is an ancient practice that our ancestors used to do. It really is sort of an Ayurvedic sort of practice from India, and you can look it up if you're interested. But basically what you do is during the sunset or sunrise, when the sun is on the horizon, not directly above, but it's safe to look at when it's just above the horizon, you stare directly at it, and it is said to be enhancing the pineal gland, which is our third eye. The third way that you can radically transform your relationship with the sun and even the moon in a holistic cosmology approach is to expose yourself to a total solar eclipse. It is one of the most transcendental experiences that humans can have. I've seen 2 of them and I'm about to see my third. I'll tell you a little bit more about total solar eclipses at the end of this video. But for now, on the actionable tip kind of front, I want you to consider your lifestyle right now and see if you're getting enough sun and vitamin D, and think about how your habits previously might be affecting your physical and mental health. You can leverage apps to monitor and increase your daily sun exposure. The Apple Watch actually has a time and daylight feature in its health section, and that's really helpful. I tracked it for a while just to make sure, because I work a lot inside at a desk, you know, and I'm sure you do too. But you can even set reminders on your watch to ping you about once an hour, just to remind yourself to stand up, move your body, get outside, and get some sun. And speaking of reminders, you can set reminders on your watch or phone to integrate outdoor breaks into your daily work schedule. And then observe the improvements in your mood and energy levels as you adjust your new sun exposure. All of this is actually really quite simple, especially when you get the reps in. Just keep it simple and don't overcomplicate it. All right, so I want to talk about the total solar eclipse. Like I said, it is quintessential for the human experience. My wife and I had a son recently. The birth of a child is one of those transcendental experiences. Seeing the northern lights up in the North Pole or Canada or the northern regions, seeing the northern lights, which I've seen twice in my life, is a very awe-inspiring experience. But right up there with the best of the best is a total solar eclipse. They happen at any given place on the Earth about once every 18 months. And you might be thinking that you've seen one before because there's lunar eclipses, but they are not the same. They are apples and oranges. There's no comparison whatsoever. You have your lunar eclipses, which are cool, but then you have the total solar eclipse. And the band of totality, as it moves across the Earth, is actually only 40 miles wide, so it's not very big at all. I've seen 2 of them so far. The first one, my wife Tracy and I traveled up to Oregon in 2017 to see that total solar eclipse, and that was our first one, and it made an impact in our psyche and our whole body matrix for sure. And so it compelled us, it called us, it magnetized us to see future ones. So we ended up traveling to Chile, South America back in 2019 to see our second one. And we're about to see our third, which is happening 2024 on April 8th, going from Texas up to Maine. That's the band of totality. And we're actually going to position ourselves just outside of Austin, Texas. Now, I'm very jazzed about this, and I want to mention it in this video because I'm sharing about sun exposure, its health benefits, and how it helps with addiction recovery. But it's transitioning into the next newsletter and YouTube videos. I'm going to be sharing a lot more about the total solar eclipse because I'm passionate about it, but because we're going to be in the path, we're going to be in it. So over the next 2 weeks. Be sure to stay tuned if you want to see it. And I'll be linking in the description. I actually shot a 3-part series in my vlog from 2019 in Chile, that total solar eclipse. You can see it on my YouTube channel now. So if you want to see it now, you can follow the link in the description, and be sure to stay tuned. In the next few videos, I'm going to be sharing actual footage from the eclipse and sharing more of my reflections about how it helps with the holistic lifestyle for the mind, spirit, and the body in upcoming newsletters. All right, so let's integrate all of this. When it comes to quitting smoking, the first thing you want to do is have a compelling reason to quit. For me, it was the birth of my son. When he was coming along, I knew that I had to get my act together. I got sober. I quit smoking because I want to be a good role model. And that's one of the things that is going to help with your commitment to the decision, is to have a compelling reason that's outside of you, because we're less likely to take action on a habit if it's just for us. But if it's for a greater cause or for someone else, we're more likely to do it. Those first 30 days are going to be clutch in your experience, so be sure to find simple and effective ways to take action on small steps and start to habit stack and combine things so it gets easier. You wake up, you go outside, do a little deep breathing, a little stretching, make that smoothie, get your calendar sorted, and then get to action. Holistic productivity helps with addiction recovery. So much of addiction recovery, quitting smoking, and life in general is mind over matter. If you can think it and believe it, you can achieve it. You are capable of this change. You are capable of great change. And the benefits extend far beyond just your own health. They have a major impact in the world. And that's why I call my newsletter the Whipple Effect. It's like the ripple effect. Small actions that you make in your own life with atomic habits have a big impact over time in the world. So if you like what I'm sharing in this video and it's adding any value to your life, I also write about these topics in my weekly newsletter, the Whipple Effect. It comes to your inbox for free every Wednesday morning. And if you're on LinkedIn or X, I'm active every day on those platforms, and you can give me a follow there. You can find the links for all of this down there in the description. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. You can drop a comment below, and if you think this video would inspire somebody else to quit smoking, feel free to share this with them. And if you're not subscribed to this channel already, I'd appreciate it if you would. I got new videos dropping every Wednesday right along with my newsletter, and I got a whole lot of good stuff in store for 2024. So until next time, I wish you all the best. Bye for now. Peace.